Hi kids, this is Miss Bettis, and I'm using this video as an example for a video submission you can submit for the Ready, Set, Read reading challenge. And you will look if you on the screen, that's how you would submit it, and you would place it here. If you look, I have already given an example for you. All the information you will need will be in our March library newsletter. So for my mystery submission, I selected the book, and I don't have a picture of it, but it's The Mystery of the Aztec Tomb by Laurie S. Sutton. She's the author. Now, this would be my submission for the mystery genre. Scooby and the gang are on their way to Mexico to arrive at Professor Dinkley's archaeological dig. Now, when they arrive, they notice that Velma's uncle is missing. And the workers are scared to go to the archaeological dig because they've seen Chupacabra and Aztec gods roaming around the dig, scaring everyone. In this book, it was a lot of fun because the author left us clues for us as a reader to help solve the mystery. Now, for my biography selection, I read the graphic novel March, Book 1. This book is written by Andrew Aiden, and he had some assistants, John Robert Lewis and Nate Powell, who actually did all the graphic illustrations for this graphic novel. Now, it's a 3-book series. It's a trilogy, but I only read book 1 for my biography submission. It talks about John Lewis's life, and it starts off with his childhood, growing up in Alabama, coming from a poor family. They had fields where they would grow their crops and things like that. But he always wanted to educate himself because he saw many injustices happening to his people. So as he's growing older, he goes to college, and he really, really talks about his nonviolent ways and how he assisted and actually knew Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., because both of them were so committed to justice and to nonviolence. And so he really talks about that, emphasizes that in this biography. And he also talks about 1963 on his march to Washington to be a part of civil rights movement. My nonfiction submission is an audiobook that I read from one of our resources called Sora that you can find in ClassLink. The title of the book is Zombie Makers, True Stories of Nature's Undead. The author is Rebecca Johnson. Now, the author asks, are zombies real? Well, we know that humans cannot die and then come back to life to start walking around and causing havoc. But there are things in this world that can take over an insect or an animal's bodies. Some of the victims to these things are like fly enslaving fungus, or a suicide worm, and a cockroach taming wasp. So we learn about them and some of the victims. For my fiction selection, I truly enjoyed this book. It is the second book called Blood and Honey from the Serpent and the Dove series. The author is Shelby Mahurin. This is book 2, so it is the continuation of Lou's adventure. Because we find out in book 1, Serpent and Dove, that Lou is a witch. And she is forced to marry some handsome Chaucer. He's a huntsman. His name is Reed. Now they find out and they actually fall in love. But at the end of the book, he finds out he's a witch also. His mom was a witch. But in book 2, she is being hunted not only by huntsmen, but also by her mother. She is the queen witch Morgane from the Dames Blanc. And she's hunting her own daughter, Lou, because she believes that Lou, if she's sacrificed to the witches, then they can reclaim their country, Belterra. It's a really good book. I highly recommend it. Now for my last submission. These are the myths and legends genre. The title of this book is Olympians, Aphrodite, Goddess of Love. The author is George O'Connor. I met him in a conference. In this book, we learn about Aphrodite, the goddess of love, and she's pitted against 2 other Greek goddesses, Hera and Athena, in a beauty competition. The stakes are really high in this competition because it involves the fate of mortals and the other Greek gods. Have fun reading. Now, in the newsletter that I have given you, I have all the information. I have how-to videos. I have links that you will need to submit your video responses. But you must remember that in order to submit your response, it must be done before March 3rd, which is next Wednesday by 4 p.m., because I need time to go through all the video submissions so that I can award the prizes to students who have participated and have met the requirements for this challenge. I hope you enjoy doing this challenge. I look forward to your video submissions. So happy reading. Have a great day.